tee and the ball combo using for batting practice on your own, working on skills, is an integral part of our teaching and our camps and what I've done to rehab myself and what Brett and I do in our own hitting like a lot of pros do. Everybody should be hitting off the tee, and we'll talk about how to properly set ourselves so we don't get bad habits off the tee. I think the best way to set yourself on the tee is to have a plate or carpet, mat, whatever you use, and typically we like to put our back foot on the front of the plate. Most pitchers will try to hit the front of the plate. And so you can always move back. If somebody's hitting the back of the plate, do some scouting, you can always move back, but most pitchers will try to hit the front of the plate. And we don't want to swing at anything below our waist or thigh or high thigh area. We don't swing between our waist and our chest, and typically standing in the front of the plate is going to give you that. So put your foot at the front of the plate area, mark that off when you start to set yourself for the tee, and back away from the box, probably 1.5 to 2 feet. A good way to test yourself and check how far away you are is to go ahead and do your butt, stretch it out, and then rotate and do your lag and snap to impact. And the sweet spot of your bat should be right over the heart of the plate. And that's how you set yourself properly there. You see a lot of hitters sometimes that walk out. It's the old way of walking out and just going like this. My hips aren't closed and I don't reach my arms like this, but that's how most people do going back to probably 100 years ago. What happens when I actually swing is that I'll take my butt and then I'll rotate, drive the hands, and snap to impact. If I do that, I'm that far away from the tee, too far away. But a better way, again, is to just stand how far away you stand from home plate. And again, to determine how far you are from home plate, you can just go ahead and do butt, stab, and snap. Make sure the sweet spot's right over the center of the plate. If you want to go backside more, of course, you're going to be farther away. If you want to pull it more, you're going to crowd a little bit more. But typically that's going to be, perhaps 2 feet, whatever. You can set it and find out for sure depending on the length of your arms and your height and everything else. So make a mark there where your back foot goes. Now next, all we have to do is, for this height of the ball we want to hit, all we have to do is mark ourselves as to where the tee goes. So if I have a pitch that's mid-chest level here, waist to chest, I'll just ignore the ball totally and the tee totally, and I'll do my butt, and then I'll drive my hands, rotate, and snap. That's where the tee should be placed. So leaving my hands right there, I just move the tee ahead, reset it right here, and then I can go back again. Set my foot where I'm going to be at the front of the plate so I can eliminate the low pitches. Stretch out a butt, stab, and snap. Boom, I'm right at the point of contact. Mark the tee here, and you'll find out that that's a pitch that I'm going to probably hit to left center field. A little bit lower, try to hit the middle bit, try to hit a line drive, but that's a proper way and the easiest way to set the tee. Set your plate and set the tee out in front where you want to go. Now if you want to go backside, there's many different ways to go backside. Certainly your point of contact can be back farther. So if I'm going to go backside, and say I do the back step to go backside, I'll back step, the boom, my point of contact has changed, and I'm going to have the tee about right here, which just makes sense. You're going to have to let it travel farther back towards the catcher, and your point of contact is going to be much farther back. So I back step, and then I do my lag and my snap, and that's a ball I can drive backside. That's a good point for trying to go backside, is to do the back step. What I typically do, I don't go backside that often, but I go effectively. If we're changing our perspective and I'm putting the tee out front here, if I'm always standing right here, what I'll do is I'll just shuffle my feet back away from the plate, and I'll stand like this, so I'm actually aimed out that way. And you might think, well, you're giving yourself away, but playing the highest level at major plus for the past 14 or 15 years, I typically pull the ball all the time. And the times I've had to go backside, I've moved my feet completely like that. I've gone from standing right like this to moving my feet like this. Typically they'll often play one fielder in right field for me, and I've never ever had an outfielder move a step. I've had a pitcher look at me before. I actually feel kind of dirty when I'm up there doing it, like I'm doing something wrong, but feel like I'm trying to get away with something, but they never move. And even if the fielders move, if I'm trying to go to right field and I shift my stance, get away from the plate so I can get a pitch that's going to be outside, more in the zone to go that way, and I already have my stance closed, aiming that way, if they move another fielder over there, I can always step back and do this. You can dictate what's going on. What the really high-level players do, like Ryan Harvey and guys that play top-level rec ball, mid-levels B and A, and then the top majors, they don't change anything. They never move. They don't want to give anything away. They feel like even if they give one step to the outfielder, they're going to be, they're going to be at a disadvantage. So they'll typically just stand there and they'll learn to inside out the pitch. Taking the same stride, letting the point of contact come and just inside out in the pitch and driving it back that way. It's a highly skilled level, and whatever you feel comfortable with, whether you do a back step, whether you change your position, either way, working off the tee is a good way to work on it. Even if if you want to be like try to do what the pros do and inside out and drive it that way, that's a great way to approach it and a great way to learn your skills. So putting the tee back at my mark where I was before, understanding that if I have a higher pitch, that's a pitch I'll typically hit even farther out in front of the plate, and it's a pitch that if it's inside, I'll hit it even farther yet. The farther inside it is, the farther out you're going to find yourself marking yourself. Again, I have a pitch right here that's at the height of the GT, and I rotate and I come around my lag and snap. That's about the proper placement, maybe even farther out ahead into the inside. My point of contact changes, and as the pitch lowers and gets more outside, your point of contact is going to change down into the outside. So the pitch that's the lowest and the farthest outside, typically going to be over in this zone right here. You get an outside pitch that's over there, you're going to have to let the point of contact come back here so you can go stab and snap and drive that pitch opposite way and try to hopefully get a little bit of underspin on it, or at least beat it in the ground to the hole. The whole key, of course, to working off the tee is to find a hole. I think as I age and don't pull the ball with as much power as I once did, I'm going to go ahead and try to aim into the middle of a four-man outfield. At least you hit some pop-ups and fly balls in there. It's a good strategy anyway. When I was in my 50s, I could swing away for home runs on my team a lot. And I would have outs sometimes, 1 or 2 outs in every 10 at-bats where I hit a hard line drive, but right to the left center fielder or left fielder's glove. And so if you hit to the center of the field, if you keep it up in the air out of the pitcher's glove, you've got yourself a pop-up that'll land in there, and that's good strategy. I think that the fielders in right field, right center, second base, first base, there's a huge drop-off between hitting to the left side into the power where the better fielders are. If you go to the back side, those fielders aren't as fast, typically aren't as sure-handed. It's a great place to attack. The other thing about going backside, if you have a runner on base, you take away the shortstop to second to first or third to second to first double play. Makes it harder for them to come back and then go back for a double play. I get a kick out of left-handers that play baseball all the time. Left-handers that play baseball all the time that have that nice swing backside, oftentimes they hit into double play situations. So I think as a lefty, you got to really reconsider yourself a little bit and say, hey, is it better to hit towards the shortstop and maybe set up the double play, or should I learn to pull the ball towards the weaker part of the outfield? It's something to consider and do what you feel is best for your game. I'm always surprised at our camps when hitters tell me that they only get out once a week for just a very limited amount of batting practice. You go out to hit, if you get yourself a 6-gallon pail, they're about $25 on Amazon. It'll hold about 30 balls. The balls we use are the Evil BP balls. They have a target on so you can aim at them. They're rinse and wash. They don't absorb any water. You can clean them off. We've had these balls here for probably all 6 seasons of the show. Some of them are still hanging around. But they give the spin. You can read the spin on it. If you have a little draw, it means your bat head is out early making contact. If you're going backside, you're going to be late. You can see that slice off to the right that goes away from the outfielders. You get underspin, topspin. They're fun to read, and this ball's got a higher core and compression, but the nice thing is the higher core is easy on the bats, and so the Evil Rocket BP ball, they also make a Rocket 52 ball, but we use all Rocket BP balls that have the higher core, the higher compression, and they perform well and they last forever. So easy to grab a bucket of balls, go out to a field, hit the different zones. I think you'll really enjoy doing it. Second thing, when you get these pickers, get these at Costco, you get them online or whatever. If you drop a ball to go pick it up, me with having bad back issues, it's phenomenally nice to just reach down, pick it up, and dump it in the pail. You can go out in about 20 minutes time, you can hit a pail of balls, pick them up, and be back to work or back to doing whatever you want to do. It's just a great tool to add to Live BP. It doesn't change Live BP much. It doesn't change the need for Live BP much, but certainly it's something that's a lot of fun, and people that never hit off the tee vastly improve their skills. It's one of the driving parts in our swing makeover camps and in our teaching, and of course on the show. The other nice thing that you can get is there's a lot of great tees out there, but GT's a partner of ours. Brett and I seek them out when we're working on the show because we like the tee so much. It's used by most of the major league teams. It's made out of aluminum construction. The nice thing about it is it folds up and goes in your bag. It's got a home plate area here. There's a place for a weight on there, but we never use it because the top of the tee is so flexible. We've had these tees for probably 3 years that we're using in our camps. Thousands of swings on them. The tee top is so nice that you don't have to have the weight on there. You know, if you want to have it on, fine, but the tee never tips over unless you really hit it below there, and there's a lot of give. The topper's about 4 or 5 inches, so there's a lot of give on there. Works really, really well. So with a bare minimum of tools, and again, if you order, we don't sell any of these products, but if you order the GT through their website direct, they'll give you 10% off if you mention Swing Makeover. Same thing with the Evil Rocket Balls. If you call and go to Bob's site, order them direct, mention Swing Makeover on is a code, they'll give you 5% off. So you have to really work on your game properly. Ryan Harvey has one of the episodes on our show, I think it's from 2 years ago, where he talks about hitting off the tee, and I asked Harvey, who I've seen numerous times hit 500 feet, one of the longest hitters in the game, him and Kyle Pearson. I asked him, how far can you hit off the tee? He says, I don't know. Because he says that's not what the tee works about. The tee works about placement, working it around, not trying to change the mechanics to hit it high off the tee. You know, try to be fluid and easy with it. Easy on the tempo, and the boom's got to be very explosive.